Sí, son chicos. Sí, 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 bueno. Sí.
Let's lift our voices to commit. Let's thank the Lord. Let's bless Him. You need further clarification on, or was that just okay? Yes. Yes. Exactly what we meant. So if you are okay with your topic, as it were, at least at this stage. So the next stage for you now is to start the process of looking. Daniel, start the process of looking whether you can actually continue with the topic in terms of availability of resources for you to be able to do, because you are not writing an essay to be published in the newspaper. You are writing an academic work. And one of the things with academic work is that you use, we say that you borrow from what others have already written. Okay, you stand on the shoulders of others to be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Then I don't know why you've been moving all about. What is the problem? Daniel. Okay. So, so we want to make that progress. I mean, at some point, Daniel is going to, when we get into looking at resources, he's going to come up and show us what is available. But right now, let's assume that you now are settled with the topic. So we now move into the process of starting to search or to look at whether or not we are able the wrong thing here. Whether you have what you really need to be able to it's good for you to go back to the course syllabus and remind yourself where we are, where we started, where we are, and yeah, I see the problem. So you mentioned that this was TA. Yeah, it's a mistake because that is still referring to Turabian. So that TA should actually be Kate Turabian, which is should be KA, not TA. I hope I don't have that also. So it's supposed to be Kate Turabian. So Katie. I think that's what we have there under this thing. It was Katie. So let's make sure that we correct. So we need to look at what we have. You are supposed to have completed the reading For today, we'll look at the reading that you did, and then we'll also have our group reading assignment discussion, and then we'll have our process assignment discussion as well today. And we started looking at critical thinking, critical writing, theological reflection, and why it's important for us to how that relates to academic writing. And yesterday we started by looking at elements of academic writing, which the registrar covered with us. And then we had our group discussion, and then we looked at the topics. Remember what we said from the beginning, that logic ties the whole research process, writing process together. It begins with logic. It continues with logic, and is concluded that way. And remember that we talked about arguments, and we talked about deductive and inductive argument. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So we gave a simple example, like, can't remember the example we gave, but we did give example.
Nigerian,
Yeah.
Nigerian life, and one is Nigerian, one life.
Nigerian like what?
Nigerian eat from something like that. Nigerian John is in Nigeria.
Yeah. So you see, that is a simple logic, that has a premise, that has a middle point, and then has a conclusion. So Nigerians love eating amala. John is a Nigerian. Therefore, John likes eating amala. So for purpose of argument, that may not be true in every practical situation. But for purpose of argument, if you want to say that, is that a valid argument? Certainly it's a valid argument, because it has the premise, it has the body, and it has a conclusion. And for you to write anything that you say is valid academically, you have to apply that principle in your writing. You have to make sure that you have a clear purpose as you set out. So when you set out and say that the purpose of this paper is to accomplish ABC, this paper intends to argue for this particular topic. So you are setting up, the framework of what you want to do. So if you set that up, that this is what this paper is about, then we want to see, as you move into the body of the paper, we want to see how you develop what you say you want to do. And then when you come down to the conclusion, we see how you conclude as to whether you have really accomplished what you intend to do. So that makes sense. That's one thing you would need to. We'll see a lot of that example and illustration today. But let's look at our topic. So how do you go about finding material for your research work? How do you go about finding materials that will enable you to do your research work or write your paper. Yes, Aja, are you saying something?
How is the library? And roughly I will I'll check and I'll browse the internet.
Before you visit the library and browse the internet, what do you do?
I don't know for now.
Any other contribution? What do you do? Just go ahead and talk. There's no right or wrong answer.
I think that before visiting the library or before you begin to outsource the materials, the first thing is to think it through. You must have
Think what through.
you must have done a brainstorm on the topic.
Okay. So there must be
A brainstorm.
first of all, you have to analyze your topic. Analyze your topic. So you're asking, what are the key terms? The key terms that will enable you, because when you go to search, when you're not just going to the library and start searching anything, you're going to look at the key terms that will give you direction as to what you want to do. You realize that the more terms you have in your topic, the more things you are going to look for. That's why we normally tell students, narrow your topic, make sure that the variables you are trying to look at, keep them under control. Otherwise, the nature of research requires that in the literature review, you will have to account for all of the variables that you have put out there. So you have to make sure that you properly account for them. So if we look at I know that this topic has been adjusted. Then I need to know what's your adjusted topic. But let's look at causes of marital failure among Christian couples. So what is the key word there?
Marital
failure.
failure.
So marital failure, but there is, what do we call this in English? Because is that a clause that adjusts this topic? Eh? So causes of marital failure becomes your key term that you are looking at here. Now, you are not just so general, you also want to anchor it, within what? Christian couple. So, because when you go to the library, there are all kinds of books about marriage, isn't it? And you have books there on premarital issues. You have books there on all kinds of things related to marriage. But first of all, you have to do an analysis of your topic to be sure that you have clarity. Otherwise, you plunge into the library and you spend 1 hour there, you realize that you are not making it. So, causes of marital failure. Another thing that you try to analyze in your topic, what is a synonym? What is a synonym for failure? What does marital failure means? Is that another word for divorce? Is that another word for separation? So you make sure that there is a thorough analysis, because it's not only that you can, sometimes you use failure, you don't get all that you need to get. I mean, the search doesn't yield result. So you have to query your synonym. So the synonym of failure will be in marriage would be like divorce, would be like separation, and any other term that is related, to that. So there must be a thorough analysis of that. That's why I was topic. You want to talk about feedback, you want to talk about
The sound is lost here, please. I've lost the sound, please.
I was equally you. What is it?
But your problem is not so much understanding, because you can use different words to search for calling. So you can say you want to search for discover calling but all you are trying to do is to understand what calling means. So you can also query the synonym for calling, which might be like vocation. Could be like Christian vocation. So you query that, and that gives you a larger latitude. But you begin first of all by narrowing your search to calling. If you think you are not getting enough material, as enough things are not coming up for you in your library search, and then you can now start, looking at other issues. So, management of mental health in troubled marriage. What are the key terms there?
manage.
No, management is not the key.
Mental.
Mental health is key. Trouble marriage, you know. So that's why I was asking the question, what do you even mean by trouble marriage that is trouble? So this will become a key for you. So by trouble, do you mean marriage that is things are not working well, or is there a divorce? Is there a separation? Is it just that there's lack of harmony or work between, you know, lack of understanding, you know? So, so that again become a key way that you try to look at, because you can. So management is not a key, but definitely you include management in your search. But you can decide to change the word management, right? And just look at issues. It could be management, it could be you try to look for what is even the synonym of manage. What do you mean by manage? You know, what do you mean by manage in this context? And then, you know, you see how, you know, in Nigeria, we manage a lot. The word manage is so much with us. Because even in the most, yeah, in the most situation, they tell you, we let's manage, you know, let's manage. So sometimes when you are using those terms in academic work, it can become problematic, because when you get to the academic work, you realize that that word management means more than that, you know. And what does it mean to manage? Yesterday, we had evening conversation in the family. So my daughter was saying that that man who made that decision, I said that man has coconut head. So I said, what do you mean by coconut head? That is derogatory, and that is that the man is. I know him to be a responsible person, but he may have a reason, because my children were talking about this is a pastor. This just insists that the child has to go to boarding school, whereas the wife really feels like that boy should not be in the boarding school. That there's so my children are just so they're just so not happy about. Well, let me just say all of them about boarding school, because for some reason, I don't know where they get all of the abuse that goes on. And that goes on even in Christian boarding school. So we were talking, so I told her, I said, I don't think that coconut head is an appropriate word to use. She said, well, Daddy, for our generation, coconut head means that the person is stubborn.
Yes.
I told him that growing up, if you say coconut head, it means you are foolish. It means you are stupid, isn't it? Yes. So I said that if you use that to my generation, I mean that's what I hear you say. I hear you saying this man is stupid. I said, no, he's not stupid. That I know him to be a responsible man. So as we were talking, my wife was already pointing. Now, in fact, it was then they said, we didn't talk about that it could be a very derogatory word. They said that the way she was using it, that is that man is just stubborn, is a stubborn person, I mean, listen. But we were able to run through that and say, okay, we can. And then I said, you don't use that in the public people really get angry with you. You can use it in your social media chat. You can use it in your social media chat among your peers, you understand. But I told you frankly, I don't understand coconut head to mean stubborn. It just means that there's no brain in your head.
You just want that.
Yeah, you just want that, So anyway, so you see all of those but again, you learn a lot from when you interact. You just open up discussion with these people, because myself, I learned, frankly, I didn't know that within their communication that is what they perceive coconut head. And she was just very strong. So I listened to it. I said, you can't use coconut head to talk to people. You run into trouble, So anyway. To define what he's really talking about. So if you are looking at the impact of negative criticism, you don't necessarily have to put negative criticism here, but that could be defined, as you make your statement clear that, this is how you are using the term, criticism there. So the same thing happened with Ajayi here. Yes, okay.
I don't know what is a better approach. Should we address issues from the negative side or positive side? In trying to resolve issues.
Well, it depends on what he's writing about. If he is approaching something from negative, my assumption is that by the time he's drawing his conclusion will be to encourage people towards the positive side, So, but if there's negativity, you want to bring out the negativity, but certainly you don't want to end there. So you get to your conclusion. So your conclusion is that, well, people may have valid reason why they are doing all of this criticism, but you think that as believers, we can move towards positive, and that would be the kind of conclusion that I will expect, to come up from that.
Sorry, sir.
Yes.
The key word there is just criticism, right?
Yeah, let me hear the topic again.
Okay. The impact of negative criticism among Pentecostal leaders on the membership.
Yeah, actually, you have a straight topic to just look at, which is the impact. So you I mean, the word impact is clear, it's not an ambiguous term. So, but you're looking at the key word you're actually looking at. So you query negative criticism of leaders, Pentecostal leaders. Then you query members as well, criticism of members. Members are criticizing their leaders. So you try to turn that search around as you search for it. So you look at negative criticism, but that is a key word. Negative criticism is a key word. You can adjust among members, adjust among leaders, but you can't adjust negative criticism, because that is the key element that you need to do your search on. And then, of course, effective use of money for Christian ministry. So we talked about effective utilization also. So utilization of money, for Christian ministry in the church becomes two areas that you have to. Sometimes you can even cut and make use of money in the church. That could be a search, things that you'll be looking for. Use of money for Christian ministry could be another term that you search for in order to get information that you are looking for. Or you can use synonym, utilization of money in the church, utilization of money for Christian ministry. So once you do that search, you should be able to gather enough money. Even in those materials, they can point out to you what is effective and what is ineffective way that have been used. But so you make sure that your topic is well looked at. This topic on exegetical. Okay.
So the next topic now is the rapture and analysis of its imminence and its implications for modern believers.
So rapture is a key term, and I'm sure when you get into rapture, all of the subject about whether it is imminent and the counter arguments, about rapture. Some people say that, you're not, whether you are millennialist or millennial, whatever it is. And then the implication is your reflection. It's more of your reflection. You might use a scripture to back up your reflection, but that is a part of your essay that you do your own personal reflection. I need to understand that you write, you contact material. By the time you are concluding, you are making some, general for everybody, you are making some statement based on what you have read. So your mission, as a result of that. If it's too cold, let's make sure we turn off so that nobody gets cold here. The same thing with examination malpractices. That is straightforward.
Yes.
Examination malpractices
activities that
value.
are wrong.
You will not even find them doing IRK and all that subjects.
Yes,
That
they
has to
are
do with-
owned by
Yes.
Christians, isn't it?
By
They are
Christians.
owned by, let me say they are owned by churches or something, but when you say Christian owned school, like they are owned by Christians, like the Christians are the proprietor, they are the founder.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And in that school, they run it like other schools.
Like other schools, yes.
But
not
Christian
like-
schools will not do some certain
Not
religious
exactly.
subjects.
Christian owned
It might not-
school.
it might not be church,
For
it might
example,
be a pastor personal school or
Those ones are
Or
Christian
Christian
owned.
personal.
for
as a
for
church.
example now,
Proprietors.
we are talking of maybe a Catholic secondary school and Anglican secondary school, you are talking about Deeper Life High School. Those are Christian schools.
Yes.
If there's anything Christian, you hardly see them do anything unrelated to Christian. So, but you say Christian owned schools, that is, I am a
I'm a
Christian,
Christian.
I run
I'm
the
only
school, I run it normally, the government.
So is that what you have in mind?
Yes, sir.
The point I'm trying to bring out is that there's a difference between the ownership Christians, but the curriculum, are they running the curriculums in line with Christian teaching, biblical foundation,
Mhm.
or not?
Exactly.
So maybe in the definition of terms, you have to make
Definitely.
this clear,
It will be there.
because they're two different things.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what we are trying to wrap up now. So which one would be?
These ones, they are schools that are owned by Christians, pastors, anybody. who is a
Then-
Christian.
As
But
a-
when you come
It's
to
a
our
private.
syllabus, it's not.
It's
Okay.
a private.
So they
Yeah,
just,
it's a normal-
they just run the normal government curriculum.
And I, by the way I'm thinking about it, if a pastor owns the school, but is running the normal secular curriculum, where you are looking at now, the value of being a Christian should show in the schools.
Exactly.
That's why I'm not even going there. I don't think my focus is just that.
It's just the
So if you are a Christian, you should not allow that.
So it's your assumption.
You will run the.
So is your
Yes. If that's good.
You can't change it, but the
You
value of being a
cannot
Christian,
change.
you not allow the.
But there are some things that will be done in that school that, you know.
Yeah, it's
Should.
even as a Christian school, you run government curriculum.
Yes.
There are things that and yet examination malpractice. Yeah. So we have
Actually everywhere now.
we had that. I mean, the school my wife is running, she has to move the student because the person promised her up and down that this is a Christian, this is this, but at the end of the day, somebody was there dictating things for the children. And so she has to, because it's just sort of funny because you kill the creativity of those children. Children that are supposed to learn, some of them they learn and they go into the exam hall, you give them the wrong thing, you know, because it's not all of the exam things you give them that are correct,
Yes.
you know. So, but at least we expect that if we are believers, we should be, you own the school, there must be a difference, you know. So anyway, that is clarified. And I think that there was one that you sent.
Sir,
Yes.
before that, can I use handling instead of management?
Exactly.
Handling of mental health.
No,
in
It's just the handling mental health.
handling mental health in a troubled marriage.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you could use handling, but I guess the thing you want to highlight here, you want to highlight the problem of mental health in a troubled marriage,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Yes, sir.
So the word the word problem could fit here because hello? Hello, Dele, are you there?
I'm there, sir. It's been very frustrating, sir.
What do you say is frustrating?
The voice is weaving in and out. Then you people are not even aware I'm in the class. You forgot about me. You abandoned me. I've become abandoned child now because I'm not in the class physically. Doctor, it's not good though.
No, it's absolutely not my problem. You should tell the technical people. Mine is to come here and everything is set up and I start teaching. And before I started teaching, I went to him. I said, make sure that everybody that is here is already around. So apologies for that.
I've been here before 9.
Okay.
Before
apologies
9,
for that. But
yes, sir.
That is why you need to make your country to run well, because we try to manage everything. I don't like managing everything. If I talk now, you people say, let's manage. Let's manage.
Okay.
Anyway,
this is my house. Over and again.
Yeah, I can.
Of the screen.
We're having vibration here. What's the problem?
That one is effective.
Yeah.
Other one. You know, this system is no speaker. So the mic is no speaker.
Okay. You see how well.
Maybe make sure this and then allow the external mic.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's not.
I can hear you.
Reduce my volume, so
I can hear you now.
Somebody call. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay.
Can you see me?
I'm not sure whether the class is hearing all that you are saying, but Carlo need to get the volume amplified. Okay, so did you have some contribution to make?
I did, but let me just talk about the last one alone, because I had been raising hands since.
Which last one?
The discussion about the Christian school.
Okay.
I think the person that was talking about that may not be getting it in full context, because I sit on the board of a Christian secondary school and I understand what he's trying to talk about. Now, there is a difference, like it was said in the class. I managed to hear that, between a Christian owning a school and a school being a Christian school. And I'm going to explain that. Now, the fact that a Christian owns a school does not mean it is run on Christian ethics. But they claim they do, but not necessarily so. There are schools that are owned by Christians, and they are named Christian schools, and they run on Christian values and ethics. Those are the real Christian schools. There are schools that are owned. The fact that a church owns a school does not make it a Christian school. You need to know the internal workings of that system before you can be sure whether it is actually a Christian school or not. It's not by nomenclature. It's not just by looking from outside. It's when you know the internal workings. Are they running on Christian principles? And like you rightly said, sir, all of them, they have no choice but to run government curriculum. The only little leeway we have to bring in theological pedagogy is where we have our weekends for the borders. We have liberty. We have so many programs we load for them during the weekends. Beyond that, also during the week, after the normal classes, truly Christian schools find a way of impacting children with Christian values. And apart from that, we make sure that we employ people who are truly Christians, not just by mere profession, so that we teach them how to do what we call biblical integration, how to integrate knowledge of God's word into their different subjects. So let me just leave it there because of these sound issues. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Where's Calvin? Okay. Are you not hear all these things? Are you not hear all these things? I don't understand. Are you supposed to be using a speaker? Okay. Hello. That's your topic. I would suggest that you do the problem of mental health in a troubled marriage. And what you need to do is to highlight the kind of is that door that just should be locked. I think you need to get this done and then on the 17 because that noise is not good. We are recording and that noise is going to get into the whole, So close the door and then turn the AC on. If you are getting too, she's already prayed for us. So, okay.
Amen.
I was trying to side. We cannot a lot of that is going on there. So anyway, so you trying to look at, because one of the things that people don't take into consideration is the fact that troubled marriages develop or bring up a lot of mental health issues for the couples, and so you want to, there's chair there now, so you want to highlight those mental health issues that possibly can come up as a result of people being in a very nagging relationship, and then your
or a toxic relationship.
Yeah. So then at the end of the day, you want to highlight some suggestions on how to manage how that relationship could be managed. So I think in that way.
What's a little observation?
Yeah.
Mental health is not an issue. It's a state of the mind. But the mismanagement of it is what leads to marital challenge. So how would you be able to?
You said the issue is what?
The mismanagement of mental health. And that's why we have this stigma against when you call mental health, most people think it's somebody that is crazy, but it's not crazy.
It's not.
No, the issue, I don't know why you're talking about mismanagement of mental health. I didn't get you.
He said mental health is not an issue.
Yes, mental health can be anger, can be depression. Okay? It's the state of the mind.
State of mind, and that's what I want to address.
Okay.
Yes. The state of the mind.
Okay.
In marriage.
Whatever state of the mind,
yes,
there are mental health issues. Mental health is a concept. Whether you think about a mad person or so, I mean, it's okay for society to give whatever interpretation it is. But the point is that you stay under a continuously toxic relationship, people develop mental health related issues. And whether you call it the state of the mind, it's the mental health problem. So I don't know whether we are communicating.
Yes, let me expand. Mental health can be positive or negative. Okay? Here, when we say mental health, already you have put some people in your group because general assumption.
Not necessarily. You know what we do in the society? Our society don't deal with people's mental health. We rather ignore them. Okay? We rather ignore them. And like you said, mental health could be positive or could be negative. And in this particular case, she's trying to look at how trouble in the marriage could result in thinking and thoughts that eventually affect the mental health of the individual. And you even have to look at when you talk about mental health, what do you mean? What do you mean by mental health? So mental health is not the person who is mad or out there on the streets. Okay. So that is not, I mean, the issue. But I think that in general, I mean, it's just like the time in which we are living now, with all of the difficulty. Many times we underestimate the mental health issues that people are dealing with right now. We underestimate how the mind is processing and trying to cope, with the issues, that are going. So the thing is not to replace that with the state of the mind, because they are all related and connected. So it's not to say, okay, let's don't talk about mental health because of the way it is being perceived. Let's talk about the state of the mind. It is a state of the mind that leads to either a positive or a negative mental health, situation. So.
Okay, and again, there are some things that happen in the family, that could lead to troubled homes. For example, a young lady will tell you that cooking every day is making her is affecting her mental health. So that can be looked. In fact, that's the direction I want to look at. Small things that even to sleep is affecting their mental health.
Yes, so the point I'm trying to make there, the word mental health already has a stigma.
Okay.
Generally, because once you say mental health, some people will shut down that there's nothing wrong with me, but that is not what you're trying to communicate. Okay. But an average mindset hears mental health as somebody who is crazy already, but that is not the truth.
That's not the truth.
Yeah.
So that's what I will need to discover, so that anybody that comes in contact with this writing or this study will be able to have an overview of what mental health is really about.
Part of what you do in your writing is to clarify what you're writing about. So if there are, particularly in our culture here, there are different assumptions, like you said, about mental health. So you talk about mental health, it evokes this kind of thing. But the fact that it evokes that particular thinking does not mean that we have to run away from the fact that, people have real issues. Many times, pastors and leaders in the church, they pay little attention to the mental health issues that people are dealing with. And so, and when we think about, we need more education for people to understand that. So mental health doesn't mean that you remove your clothes and you are walking on the street, naked, okay? There are things that happen at home, and the woman will say, look, this man is driving me crazy. This man is making me, I feel like I need to go out and start shout on my neighbor about what is going on with me right now. So something is going on there that, So yes, like I said, there's a negative connotation in the society, but part of what we do in our academic discipline is to correct that and then put on, what should be, the issue. And you have to, as much as possible, try to narrow what you're writing so that you are really trying to look at how some minor or major issues of relationship at home, could trigger, you look at that as possible triggers of mental health issues that, we will not pay attention to it. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
from my own side, I think I should use another way. The impact of ministry among the less privileged.
Yes, I think we have agreed on that.
No, sir. I just think about it.
The impact of what?
Of the impact of ministry, of Christian don't know, see, fellowship of Christians, some of the impact of the Christian.
You want to change your topic?
The impact of Christian.
So you want is it outreach, is ministry? Because that word ministry could mean outreach. It could mean evangelism. Eh? You know? So if you want to use the impact of the impact of maybe outreach might be, I'm not sure, but yeah. So if you want to use Christian outreach among the less, is that so are you all listening? I hope you are not sleeping. Yes. Because the point I'm making is that ministry could be outreach. Okay. So yeah, so if you want to you could also do strategies. You can think about ministry strategy for do you have evangelism in mind? For evangelism, outreach, what other term do we use? Among the less privileged. So it could be evangelism, which if you don't want, but this helps you to ask your question, what kind of ministry strategy? The word strategy may sound like a big word, but it just tells you what ways. So what ways ministry strategy for okay, I think I missed something there. For reaching the less privileged. So it becomes ministry strategy for reaching the less privileged.
So I wanted to just try to reiterate our mindset as I just said earlier. So now she's painting a picture of you being able to run a church effectively amidst the president. Like someone having a ministry now that would every Sunday would go to Oshodi under the bridge and could try to pull these guys together and be able to preach to them and teach them how to keep doing it effectively. So that was the overview of the picture.
Is that what you have in mind?
That was the value she painted for us as I said.
Okay, your group, yeah.
The issue there, the direct James, formerly Amber. So I just after he has celebrated his 79th birthday, I came across this and I read the issue there is exactly what I'm facing. He said all these they got converted happiness. But when they when they so when they look around, no family situation, hospitalize them, this and that, they now go back to their former house. And that former house they go there, they can
You say, oh, I'm confused and this and that. But understand what we are doing here is that I just want you to understand what it means for you to get a topic And what processes do you go through in making sure that you execute that topic? How you maintain a logic in your writing, And if you get this simple one, it helps you, a lot. That is the thing that I want you to, I'm not interested in any big, huge topic. When you are ready for big topic, when you want to write your thesis or whatever, then we can look at that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. In line with what you're saying, I think there are three sides. There is the failure or weakness in the rehabs. There's a weakness in the beneficiaries and also families of origin. So it's trying to combine the two together. That will be you can narrow it down. That will have some kind of limits or.
I don't even want her to go into that. Yeah, I don't even want her to go into that because trouble deal. From where? Okay. So I don't want that to, because you see, what she is saying is not only from her that I hear these stories. One of my students that I supervise, she wrote a doctor of ministry thesis. She was doing, she's in Tony Rapu's church. So, Tony Rapu does this God Bless Nigerian church. So she actually went down into the trenches to do that work. And consistently, one of the problems they have is, how do you retain these people? Sometimes they invest and it seems as if the people are coming back and they go back, into the whole system. So for you to look at that whole situation require a whole detailed research work. It requires you getting into the field and really trying to look at. There's another case study of a lady in that Ipaja area who does, they go to the hotel, they do outreach to all these prostitutes there, bring them back to a home and this and that, which my wife has kind of been involved with that. But the whole issue is, it just one day it looks like they will come back, they tell you they are all going back. You are not giving them enough money, you are not giving them enough this, and these are people that have been, they live in the brothel. It's a very unstructured life. Now you want to bring them under structure, So I usually sit down to give them analysis of the situation that they are grappling with, that is not just enough. Yes, you have preached and the people have come in. There is more that needed to be done than that. In Tony Rapu's church, they actually have, they can move there. They have a rehabilitation center. They work with doctors to actually detox some of them of the drugs, that they have taken over the years. They have a sewing area, another area that you skill acquisition. So they have success, but they also have stories of, relapses in the whole, ministry. So I don't want her to go that way because it's a lot of work, Yeah, it involves, so for this work, what I want to is to master the principle that will help you to do a big project in the future, That is just basically what I want you to, to get out of this whole process. So look at ministry strategy for reaching the less privileged. So you can reflect on your own personal experience, what you have been doing. You can read from the textbook and say, what are, you can look at, books on evangelism to the less privileged, outreach to the less privileged, and all of those things. And you can pull out some principle plus what you have experienced in the field. And you should be able to use that to get your work, your project done. Otherwise, you just get stuck trying to, to figure out, all of those things. So that is one step I want you to do. Another thing that you need to do before you start writing is that, so you analyze your topic, but you must come up with your contents. What do I want to cover? What do I want to cover in this write-up? So you have a topic. Definitely you want to have your introduction. So you want to have your introduction, and you want to explain some terms. Explain terms, whether it is less privilege. It could be mental health. So you want to define that, right at the beginning, of whatever your topic is. So you explain the terms or explain or define. You explain or, define your terms. And then from there now, you start moving to the issue of trying to look at the literature. So how is it, what are you finding out from the literature about maybe strategies that are working? So you get those strategies. Again, this one is literature based because you are reporting, and I will show you how you report those to your literature. So you're reporting on your literature. In this particular one, you have a minimum of 7 literature that you are engaged with. So you are looking at if it is a strategy for outreach. So you are looking at, those various, strategies. And then when you look at that strategy, you can come to the point where you can do either your suggestions or recommendation. You have it there. And then you can come to your conclusion. And then you have digital resources, online resources that we are going to look at. So we're going to take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to start with asking ourselves the question, how do I gather resources for my work? Yes, ask question, please.
Can I still change my topic?
Sure. It's not late for you to change. Yeah, thank you. Is it Aisha who is asking? You are asking about change. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think
All right, I'll still go with it.
but
Understand
what is your topic?
what is taking place.
Your topic, what is?
Okay, my topic is the impact of criticism.
Now this thing is not working. Those who are online, they are not joining. The thing is just not working.
Yeah, yes.
I think it's
Is it still there?
Yes, sir.
Because here it said the thing
hearing
failed,
now,
so-
but I've not been hearing it for a long while. I'm just hearing it back again.
Okay.
I've not been hearing it for a long while.
So, yeah, is somebody afraid of a topic of this topic?
The impact
it's the AC plus what you have just finished explaining.
The impact of what?
The impact of the AC and the explanation of the topic.
Now, Diko, you were talking about introducing appreciative inquiry as a marital dispute resolution tool. A study of its potential application within, that is just too long.
Okay.
And
But I'm thinking of just concentrating on my thesis.
yeah, just concentrate on what you are doing. Yeah, just
Just get the knowledge and apply
yes,
it.
there, just apply it to what you are doing. So you don't need to bother yourself. You don't need a distraction. You need
Oh,
to
yes.
focus.
Yes.
You know, so
That's it.
Thank you. Yeah. So are you afraid of
I will hold the book by the horn.
what is the topic again?
The impact of criticism among Pentecostal leaders on the members.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to change, I mean, it's fine because and I keep thinking about that. You have to establish a basis for. So, are you concerned about social media criticism of pastors or what?
Yes.
Right? So if it is criticism coming from the social media, then you have to refrain that topic. I do know that in nowadays there are so much that pastors go through in the social media. There's so much bashing that goes on for them. Right or wrong?
Right.
Eh?
Abel Damina.
What did you say?
Abel Damina, the head of them all.
Or the lady?
No, Abel
No,
Damina.
Okay, yeah. Oh, he gets a lot of criticism.
No, he's the head of them all. He's the one that needs the criticism most.
Okay.
So
this one-
more in the front page.
This
And
one-
also being criticized. It's even the most.
This one- Is criticism being led by the pastor himself,
Yeah.
you know, by the Jew.
Yeah.
So you see, that's why I tell you that.
Getting it back.
That's why I'm telling you that you have to define what you want to do. If you want to look at the point is that pastors who continue to create controversy, you create controversy to yourself, and you forget that those days when the pastor just say things and goes scot-free are no longer here with us. The pastor have to be very economical about what you say in the social media. So things that should be out of the purview of the social media, because once the social media starts, you don't have any control over it, you know? And it comes from left, right. I mean, you see, families and people can just be destroyed. So all you need to take is get a picture of Mercy Chinwo, get a picture of his son, and get a picture of what is the other person, Bassey, and say, look, look how the son resemble this body. Already you are creating things in the minds of people. Before you know it, you are seeing all kinds of followership. You know, it's not, if not that they rose and said, look, we're going to take legal issue about this. Those people may not even apologize, you know. But I know that there are some of us who stay in the social media, but we need to understand the danger of just going out in the social media and say what you want to say. So that is one side of it. Pastors use issue that they bring to themselves. The other side is just, you have people that criticize minister for everything. That is just their job in the social media. Yes, whatever Olukoya said, you raise issue, and Deboye said you raise issue. You know, you just conclude that they have too much money. They are making money from.
There's this one that's leading when it comes to criticizing other pastors.
This one that was in there.
That's Sunday Adelaja.
Sunday Adelaja, yeah.
I've not heard him for a long time. He's still in the social media.
Yes, from Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's because of the issue in Ukraine. That's why
Where
he had to move.
He has moved from there. So
From there.
yeah.
I heard that
So anyway, the point.
It's because of the war. So
Yeah, maybe it's gone underground now. So I don't know where because his family has to move from Ukraine. So so that is what. So the point is that. So you have to define your criticism you're talking about, and if it is social media, then you can have good examples to use, but you can't try to mix criticism of pastors. So either you're talking about something that is coming from the social media, as a point.
I give up.
Yeah.
What about strategy for raising Christian leaders on campus?
Yeah, that's fine. You can do that.
is that we give him rest.
Yeah, so you can do that. Strategy for raising Christian leaders. So that would all be an essay topic that you write on. Yeah.
I think unlike, as I said earlier, that's not guided by.
Sunday Adelaja is quiet right now because there are allegations of adultery against him from his church.
Yeah, there's a very big issue. Yeah, that's true. I read that, which the Ukrainian
they are investigating.
They have been investigating on that, even though he said that it's not true. But I think that there have been very strong issues that I'm not sure that is why he's quiet. I'm not sure that you can keep Adelaja quiet. I'm not sure. So
I think those are some of the distractions that the church should mature in.
Yeah. Yeah, so just as something is going on, I've not had him for a long time. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not sure. Even when the issue was going on, you couldn't they couldn't close his mouth. I mean, because I read a lot about that. That was even before the war itself. So I really don't think that is the reason. Delija went to Ukraine as a journalist, so he writes he studied journalism, you know. Okay.
So sir, what is going to be my keyword here?
What the topic again?
Strategy for raising Christian leaders on campus.
Yeah, so strategy, leadership.
Okay.
Because what do you even mean by leadership, and what kind of strategy for raising Christian leaders? You know, does that make sense?
The strategies for me.
For raising Christian leaders.
Yes.
Yeah. So what kind of strategy could be used in raising Christian leaders on campus? So strategy is a key word. Christian leader on campus is a key word that you have to look at. Okay, it's 11:15 now, so we want to take a 15-minute break. 15 minutes break, and then, or maybe 20 minutes. So let's take the break, and then let's try to be back. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Vanessa, you are busy typing something. You tell me what you are typing.
Yes.
You are texting. And anybody that texts in my class, I find them for texting.
I will not do it again.
If it's too cold, we can off it so that some people can get some.
Man, please look up, please. Good evening.
You don't know you have a very nice book. When I was getting, I was just thinking.
Now he changed it.
You know, you have a very nice, something that it won't give you much.
I will look at
But if you are not set for it, you can keep that.
For
Wait
another,
for your
decision.
So you prepare yourself towards that. It's a very nice, it's something that if you publish it, because of what is going on now, so even with the social effect of social media.
I think I can work on it personally.
Can use it for your projects, end of your graduation. Like you are afraid to handle it now. Just leave it and build yourself. It's a very nice story.
Well, thank you for giving you.
Thank you.
Talking for this.
I don't need to begin to cram my head.
Yeah, another one.
This one is just like, how many pages? It's 6 to 10 pages, double line spacing.
Yes.
So if you do double line spacing, a page will give you 250 words.
I might not even be able to.
So you are writing this thing as writing less than, let me say at most, okay, 500 is 2 page, 1000 is 4 page. Yeah, writing about the max 2000 words of 3000. It's reference.
Which might not be able to.
It's reference. So it's just like when you say, it's just like, okay, give me 500 page of your work. 500 words. It's a very small thing, so you can, if you are afraid to handle it, you can think of something else now, but you can don't into it. And It's a very nice. For the church. Now, the people pastor, I didn't really play participate. I didn't really see. That's it's another angle that you can also be talking. I didn't, they don't even want it. Because from looking from what they are being taught here. It's something that the church supposed to help. Yes. But to help you become better version of the better version of your God.
Are we ready for it?
Do you accept it?
I'll reach into yours. Thank you, sir.
So when we come.
I want this kind of gates. I would not use any reason.
That's good. So if you want to prepare whatever you want to prepare, that's Jésù wà ní. Iṣẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Iṣẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Abẹ́rẹ́ kọrin náà. Mi ò gbọ́dọ̀ fi lè sí mi. Mo dẹ̀ bá mi ra kọ́ mi ni.
Have you done your assignment? Have you done it anywhere? When you do your assignment, you get it out of two. So when you do it, put it in a flash. Or they can help you put it on WhatsApp. Send it to you.
No, I'm not realizing that.
Okay, yeah, you can write it on the paper.
Gbogbo ìtẹ̀wọ̀n bá fún ìlú apá ìlú ìlú tó ń mi bọ̀. Mr. Daniel. Pastor Daniel. Fine, sir. You know, I told you I'm a computer illiterate. I go join me, join hand to teach me. If not so, I'll be dragging you to back in the class. That is just it. For me not to drag you back, when they teach me one step today, and that step tomorrow, one by until like. Well, if I don't understand, I'm not going to do
Pastor.
I will not drag. I will not.
What is your name yourself?
You
want to drag him back?
All everybody. But now they have said I'm moving. I will say, sir, it's not clear. See?
You are here to learn.
So if you cannot join,
you are here to learn.
if you do not join hand to teach me, I'll fight her.
So they don't fight, we don't fight now. It's only good for me. You are learning to learn, and if you are ready to learn, you learn.
Okay.
You are new to I'm learning. New to I'm learning, you can see me in the class. I'm new to I'm learning.
It's good now.
So,
It's good now. I will be by the tree.
new to I'm learning.
And you are cast.
So,
Yes. When the days.
I cannot say I know too much.
Yeah, you know too much. Hey. So I bet I'll be coming and I will teach you that you don't get
In my car. But, yes, I'm going to see.
These are the place not for me. No.
That microphone is power.
And place, these are.
I hear your discussion.
See, continue. That one right there. Is it this
Two of
one?
them.
Okay.
I think today is you are a focus of us.
So I know what to do.
Eh?
And I'm
But then,
I'm coming.
who will give the money?
Come back.
Okay.
Have you said that application? That one don't collect money for bank.
You can need
Maybe that.
Pastor Carlo,
Yes, ma'am.
I bought a first room and I'm giving the money to Auntie Funke. And today is her birthday.
I give this to her.
Is she around?
Yes, she's around.
No, I want to.
If I say the money to the
I need to.
done with the money.
I think that is that pocket. I do not spend that. I do not talk about I can put
Put it inside your office.
I did not do it before.
Any money I will not bring to you, I put it in. I put
No,
it
but-
here, I will not touch.
Also, do I reach out? The man started coming. After I back pocket, I think for that.
Since you don't see my back on such bad.
Don't say they go fight it. You buy it. I want to spend the money before. I thought I had money in my account. Hey. Now they show me picture of what I miss now.
Sorry. Doctor, you wanted his own picture, so I've not actually sent it to him. So I just use it.
I would say snap leg.
Really, man. I think could pass making a snap like
To sit down.
maybe they went to this place for
Or
this is during missions,
Wait.
house to house.
wait, you want to use it for
Okay, this is Alex.
you want to use it for evangelism. Beautiful at the feet of those that bring you put this one. But the shoe don't find out.
Yeah, Alex.
I mean, no plan as I take attend this.
Actually, go on.
Let me say this was there. So that you remember that. We did the fish. Alex.
Alex, you know that. People get sent to the wrong person. You'll be wondering. Peter.
I have.
You did connect.
He's used to discover by saying, I don't understand.
And it's idle for a long time. It's connect.
A good 3 centuries. Yeah, well, a good 3 centuries.
But you're calling
I saw your message. I saw your message. Well, I have a short break. Because so that's why I've not been able to call you.
Tẹ̀lé ibi ẹ̀yọ̀kan ló kù
Whenever we
àti àwọn pastors yẹn ní
so I develop share the same lady than me. I don't think she's that I will. Okay.
But I see picture where it's snapping. That leg is snapping.
No, you're not taking any picture here.
Who snap up? Who they snap leg?
Yeah,
Because now he goes making it snap. Okay, and legs.
Yeah, I say maybe you want to use it to teach.
So say
How
that
people
marriage is for adults. If you have to make him to commit to wedding, then there's no wedding. You are married now, you know what I'm talking about. The ìgbà tó mọ lọ sí school ní primary one. Then come by force. No, marriage is not like that. It's a decision of an adult. So if he's not ready, you people should leave. I mean, stop putting him under pressure. Maybe he's just trying to take you off his back.